Have you ever wondered why you can give a man all the love in the world, be the perfect partner, support his dreams, and always be there, yet he still seems distant? It is the most frustrating feeling in the world. You sit there, questioning your worth, wondering if you aren't pretty enough, smart enough, or simply not the right woman for him. You analyze every text, every silence, and every change in his tone. You want him to see you, to choose you, to be obsessed with you. But here is the truth that very few people will tell you. Love, in the way most women express it, is often not enough to keep a man fully invested. I know that sounds harsh. We are conditioned to believe that if we just love enough, if we are kind enough and patient enough, everything will work out. But men operate on a different frequency. When you understand the male psyche, you realize that there are deep-seated emotional needs that, when met, create an unbreakable bond. These needs are not about you being his slave. They are about you understanding his internal map. If you want to stop the cycle of chasing, wondering, and feeling insecure, you have to shift your perspective. You have to stop focusing on how much love you are pouring into him and start focusing on the emotional triggers that actually make him want to stay, commit, and cherish you. Most women fall into the trap of being too much of one thing. We become the caretaker, the therapist, or the cheerleader. We pour all our energy into his life, thinking it will make him feel so loved that he could never leave. But have you noticed that the more you give, the more he seems to pull away? It is a paradox, but it is real. When you make a man the center of your universe, you lose your own gravitational pull. And a man, by his nature, is drawn to a woman who has her own center, her own world, and her own power. Today, we are going to dive into the 3 emotional needs that are actually stronger than love for a man. When these 3 needs are met, a man doesn't just like you. He recognizes that you are a vital part of his reality. He stops looking for excitement elsewhere because he finds what he fundamentally needs in his connection with you. And the best part? These needs will make you feel more powerful, more secure, and more in control of your own happiness. We are not talking about games here. We are talking about meeting his deeper psychological requirements while maintaining your own feminine dignity. When you look at the men who are deeply committed to their partners, you will notice it isn't always because the woman is the most beautiful or the most successful. It is because she understands what makes him tick. She understands that a man has an innate drive for status, purpose, and autonomy. When you learn to weave these things into your relationship, you stop being just another person in his life and start being the woman he is terrified to lose. You become the partner who adds value to his existence, not just someone who demands his time and affection. We are going to dismantle the myths about what makes a relationship last. We are going to stop playing the waiting game and start playing the value game. And I want you to pay attention, because once you grasp these 3 concepts, you will see your interactions with men change overnight. You will feel less anxious, less needy, and much more magnetic. This is about you becoming the best version of yourself, the woman who understands that her power lies in her ability to influence, not just to react. So, we have established the landscape. You are done with the chasing, and you are ready to understand the architecture of his desire. If love is the container, these 3 needs are the fuel that keeps the engine running. Without this fuel, even the most beautiful container eventually sits empty. The first and perhaps the most misunderstood need is the need for competence and recognition. In our modern world, we often think that men just want us to tell them we love them, or to be their emotional support system. And while they appreciate that, what truly drives a man to his core is his need to feel capable, effective, and respected in his mission. Whether he is a CEO, a craftsman, or an artist, his identity is tied to his ability to do. When you show up as the woman who sees his competence, not just by praising him, but by truly witnessing his strength and trusting his ability to solve his own problems, you become his sanctuary. Most women, out of a place of love and anxiety, fall into the fixer trap. He shares a work problem, and you immediately offer a solution. He complains about his life, and you start managing his schedule. Stop. When you do that, you are inadvertently signaling that you don't trust his competence. You are stripping him of the very thing that makes him feel like a man, the ability to conquer his environment. When you hold back, when you sit in your feminine power and say, "I know you will handle this," you aren't being cold. You are giving him the highest form of respect. You are telling him, "I believe in you." This isn't about being submissive. It is about being a partner who empowers. Think about it. Who would he rather spend his life with? The woman who constantly reminds him of what he's doing wrong, or the woman who makes him feel like a giant because she recognizes his capability? This need for recognition is a craving. It is the reason he seeks out challenges. If you become the woman who is his biggest admirer, not because you are desperate for his approval, but because you genuinely value his drive, he will find your presence addictive. The second need is the need for autonomy and freedom. This one is often the hardest for women to swallow because it feels counterintuitive to our desire for closeness. We want to be one with him. We want to share everything. And while intimacy is beautiful, a man's psychological health depends on his sense of independence. When he feels that being with you is a choice, not a prison sentence, he will choose you over and over again. Many of us make the mistake of trying to own his time. We get upset when he wants to go out with his friends, or when he dives deep into a hobby that doesn't involve us. But here is the secret. The more you encourage his autonomy, the more he will run back to you. Why? Because when you are the source of freedom, rather than the source of restriction, he feels safe. He knows that being with you doesn't mean losing his identity. It means adding a layer of joy to his existing life. When you allow him to breathe, you are actually creating a vacuum. You are showing him that you are a woman with your own life, your own interests, and your own high standards. You aren't sitting by the phone waiting for a ping. You are out there living, being vibrant, and enjoying your own world. That creates a natural pull. He starts to wonder what you are up to. He starts to miss the way you make him feel. You stop being a requirement he has to fulfill and start being a reward he wants to claim. This shift requires you to have a solid relationship with yourself. You have to be your own best friend first. You have to be the woman who is so busy building her own empire and finding her own joy that his presence is a complement to your life, not the sole foundation of it. This isn't just about acting busy. This is about actually becoming a woman who is so fulfilled that she doesn't need him to be okay. And for a man, that is the most magnetic thing in the world. He wants to be with a woman who has a soul that is too big to be contained by anyone else. As we move forward, I want you to remember that this isn't about manipulation. It is about understanding the human heart. You are learning to communicate with his deeper self. When you address these needs, you are not just keeping a man. You are building a partnership based on mutual respect and genuine desire. You are moving from the position of a seeker to the position of a queen. We have talked about his need to feel competent and his need for freedom. These are the pillars that hold up the structure of his attraction. But there is a third need, the one that acts as the glue. If you get this one right, you move from being a temporary interest to becoming his ultimate partner. This third need is the need for validation of his inner reality. Let's be honest, women are often the masters of emotional intelligence. We talk about our feelings, we process things, we share. Men, on the other hand, often keep their inner world locked in a vault. They are taught from a young age that being sensitive is a weakness, so they build these high walls. They walk around in the world acting like they have it all figured out, but inside, they have fears, doubts, and a longing to be truly seen by someone they trust. When you become the woman who can look past his mask, not to criticize but to acknowledge the man beneath, you are offering him something he almost never gets anywhere else. Most people in his life only see what he produces, his money, his status, his utility. You, however, have the power to see his spirit. This is where your emotional intelligence becomes your superpower. You don't need to overanalyze him or try to play therapist. You just need to be a safe harbor where he can lower his guard without fear of being judged or needing to be a man for 5 minutes. How do you do this? It's simpler than you think. It's in the way you listen. It's in the way you acknowledge his efforts, even the small ones. It's in those quiet moments when he mentions a stress he is carrying, and instead of giving him a to-do list, you simply say, "I know you carry a lot, and I really admire how you handle it." That simple, genuine validation hits deeper than any "I love you" could ever go. Love is a feeling, but being validated is a profound, soul-level experience for a man. It tells him that you are his partner in the truest sense. When you validate his reality, he stops viewing you as an adversary or a problem to solve. He starts viewing you as his confidant. This is the bridge to deep, lasting commitment. Men often pull away because they feel that being in a relationship requires them to be someone else. Someone who is always on, always productive, always happy. When you create an environment where his authentic self is welcome, he stops feeling the need to run. He finds a sense of peace in your presence that he cannot find anywhere else. However, there is a catch. You can only provide this space if you are centered in your own reality. If you are desperate for his validation, you can't give him yours. It's a transaction. You must be filled up from within. You must know your own value, your own purpose, and your own beauty, so that when you offer him this validation, it comes from a place of abundance, not a place of hunger. This is the difference between a high-value woman and someone who is just trying to keep a man. A high-value woman doesn't need to beg for crumbs of attention because she knows the value of the bread she brings to the table. When you understand these 3 needs, competence, autonomy, and validation of his reality, you aren't just playing by the rules of attraction. You are rewriting the game entirely. You are positioning yourself as the only woman who truly gets him. And for a man, a woman who gets him is a woman he will never want to let go of. Think about the women you know who seem to have men wrapped around their fingers. It's not because they are manipulative. It's because they understand this flow. They give what he needs. They hold their own boundaries. And they never, ever compromise their own standards. They are the calm in the center of the storm. And you, Priscilla's audience, have the ability to be that woman. You have the wisdom, the grace, and the power to transform any dynamic if you just stop pushing and start understanding. We are building a foundation here. You are learning that your value is not in how much you can sacrifice, but in how much you can influence through your wisdom. By fulfilling these needs, you are not losing yourself. You are elevating yourself. You are becoming the woman who commands respect, inspires devotion, and holds the key to a man's deepest loyalty. But we are not done yet. There is one final piece to this puzzle, the one that ties it all together and ensures he stays for the long haul. We have arrived at the final stage of our journey, and I want you to take a deep breath. We have covered the need for competence, the need for freedom, and the need for validation of his inner reality. Now, I want to talk about the missing link, the piece that keeps a man not just interested, but deeply, irrevocably devoted. This final element is the need for a purpose-driven partnership. A man who lacks a clear purpose in life is like a ship without a rudder. He drifts, he loses interest easily, and he is prone to distraction. A man with a mission, however, is focused. But even the most ambitious man can become overwhelmed. Here is the secret. He does not just need a woman who is fun or sweet. He needs a woman who acts as the North Star to his journey. This doesn't mean you are his manager, and it certainly doesn't mean you are the one who tells him what his mission should be. It means you are the woman who holds the space for his growth. When you embody your own purpose, when you are a woman who is driven, passionate about your own life, and working toward your own goals, you become a mirror. He sees in you the same dedication he aspires to have. This creates a powerful, magnetic resonance. He doesn't just want to be with you because you make him feel good. He wants to be with you because being in your orbit makes him a better man. You challenge him to be the best version of himself, simply by existing as the best version of yourself. Many women make the mistake of thinking that if they become his everything, he will never leave. But that actually puts an unbearable amount of pressure on him. It makes you a burden. When you are a purpose-driven woman, you take that pressure off. You aren't asking him to save you. You are inviting him to walk beside you. This is the hallmark of a high-value relationship. It is two complete individuals who choose to combine their strength, not two half-people trying to fill the void in each other. This shift in energy is exactly what leads to long-term commitment. A man chooses the woman who represents an upgrade to his life. He chooses the woman who understands his deepest needs, honors his autonomy, validates his struggles, and inspires him to be a better man. When you stop chasing him, stop begging for his attention, and start focusing on these core emotional pillars, the entire dynamic flips. He stops being the one who decides whether to stay or go. He becomes the one who is working hard to prove that he deserves to be by your side. I know that for many of you, this feels like a major change in how you have been doing things. You have been told to be the good girl, to be the one who sacrifices everything. But look at where that has gotten you. Has it brought you the deep, soulful connection you crave? Or has it left you feeling drained, undervalued, and anxious? It is time to stop. It is time to reclaim your power. You are not a secondary character in his story. You are the lead in your own. I am working on something very special to help you dive even deeper into this. I am creating a guide that will walk you through exactly how to embody this energy, how to handle the moments when your anxiety kicks in, and how to set boundaries that actually work. It is designed to take you from a place of uncertainty to a place of unshakable confidence. Keep your eyes open, because this is going to change the way you look at love forever. Thank you for being here with me, for listening to these truths, and for choosing to grow. You have an incredible capacity for love, and when you combine that love with the right boundaries and an understanding of human psychology, you become unstoppable. Remember, a man doesn't need to be managed. He needs to be inspired. And the most inspiring thing you can ever be is a woman who loves herself enough to demand the best. You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are just getting started. If this resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 needs do you think has been the missing piece in your relationship? Leave a comment below, and let's keep this conversation going. Your story matters, your growth matters, and I am so proud of you for taking this step today. Keep shining, keep growing, and I will see you in the next video.